Okay. Okay. So. It.
That's how you started?
No.
No, you remember that one?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, yeah. Hi. I'm back. This is the this is the first episode of 2021. Wait, is it?
I don't know. It probably is, right?
I think it is. Yeah, because I think I waited until I got back to do anything. Because the last episode I did was the 2020 rewind of the memes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah. Hi. It's me, Elizabeth. I'm here with my friend Phoebe.
Hello. I don't know if I'm supposed to say hello.
I don't either. Yeah, and yeah.
That's it.
And that's it. That's the end of the podcast. Yeah, so we're just
Vibing.
There's a stain on my pants. Where did that come from?
Wait, what? Ew.
When you said ew. No, I don't know where it came from though.
How did you get there?
I don't know. It's like right underneath my knee.
Maybe you were eating?
Girl, there's no... Maybe, yeah. Or like... I don't know. Anyway, we're just gonna be basically just minding our business. Talking about random stuff. I'm gonna look at the list. Okay. So the first thing I have written down is talking about like living internationally. So so yeah, basically if you've listened to other episodes of my podcast, you know that I grew up in East Africa in Kenya for 12 years. And yeah, my parents are both doctors. And then Phoebe, you grew up in...
Well, I was born in Singapore, and technically I'm half Malaysian too. But then my parents are missionaries, so we went into China, and I spent the first 7 years of my life there, and then we moved out to Hong Kong when I was about almost 8, and then, yeah, I was there for 11-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I just, like, have written down, like, just, like, what are assumptions that people have about you as, like, an international person?
Well, it's even worse because I'm a minority, so
yeah,
you're... Can you speak English?
Yeah, they're like, oh, so you speak Asian.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever gotten that?
And I've gotten it here.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like white people too.
Everyone here is white though.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Especially
like, no,
white.
I was like looking
it's like
around.
cottage cheese white.
I was looking around today and I was just like looking around and I was like, oh my gosh.
It's white.
These are the first like 2 black people I've seen today. Like, and I was like, diversity who? Like, yeah. Where?
Especially over break, because I was staying with my sister in Maryland, and Maryland's like really diverse, especially like where we're Wheaton. So, yeah, I just saw like people of color every single day, and then like coming back here,
come back and you're like, it's white.
What?
Girl, I can't even tell if that's the snow or the students.
Oh no!
And like I know I'm white, but like culturally, I'm like culturally not like an American who has like I've lived multiculturally, and so I know what it's.
Sorry, I have to unbutton my pants because lunch is really filling. Okay, I'm fine.
Girl, you're gonna leave your belt on, but you're not gonna.
Okay, fine.
There you go. See, does that not feel more
comfort?
Once I did that and I forgot to.
Oh my gosh, I've done that too. I've gone to closet.
You're just like, hello, here's my underwear.
Yeah, good thing I'm wearing stuff underneath. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other like assumptions that people have. I mean, a lot of people think that like a lot of people are like, oh, so like your parents are rich because you like went to like
you travel.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. Like I've been to poor. I've been to 17 countries, but I'm like so poor I can barely. We're.
I know.
We're so broke. I mean, we're also college students, so it's like.
Yeah.
It's double broke.
But at least we know how to save money. Like,
it's true.
We know how to handle money really well.
Yeah.
I mean, except for this past week when we've been buying every single thing that we see.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this past week.
Yeah, besides that. Yeah. But, like, it's just so weird to, like, go from, like, because, like, my school in Kenya was American, and it was, like, 60% white.
Mm-hmm.
But then the rest of the people were either Asian or, like, majority, like, East African. And so it's just weird to come to a place where it's, like, white.
Yeah.
And it's, like, even just thinking about it, like...
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, like... Especially because, like, I feel like Messiah is always like, oh, we do, like, such a good job of, like, cultural diversity and stuff. Where?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, they do have, like...
we have, like, international banquet. And
yeah, and they have, like, ISA and, like, things like that. But they don't, like, really, ultimately, I don't, like, the only people... Like, the people who are in, like, Asian Student Association or whatever...
Yeah.
They're the only Asians on campus.
I
like,
know.
Really, like, and the people in, like... Black Student Union, I'm like, how many, like...
Like a whole 3 people thing.
Yeah, like, how many black people are on campus? Like, I don't even know.
No.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I never see anyone except white people.
Uh-huh. But somehow we have the most diverse
friend group.
ever.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's you and Kara.
Yeah.
And then Mariah.
Yeah.
And then I'm white, but I don't act white most of the time. And then M is... the white American one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's like, I just don't understand how, like, Messiah, like, if Messiah is, like, commended for its diversity, then what are other schools like?
Did you hear that we're, like, the most diverse class of ever or something like that? We broke some sort of record for Messiah, and I was like,
oh no.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, kind of now thinking about it, like, most of the, like, people of color that I know on campus are freshmen.
That's true. Yeah. But still, like, in most of my classes, I'm always, like, one of 2 or 3
It's also really weird because, like, there's, like, and I know this, like, kind of, like, plays into, like, the stereotype of, oh, Asian people are good at, like, STEM fields. Mm-hmm. But I don't know any Asian dance majors. I know, like, a few Asian music majors.
Yeah.
But they're all, like, instrumental music. None of them are vocal.
Uh-huh.
I don't know pretty much any non-white theater majors.
Uh-huh.
Like, pretty much all the theater majors are white that I've met.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl... what?
Wait, now that you say it, it's really, like, weird.
No, and, like, even just, like, normal, like, art majors, like, studio art majors and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them are, like, white.
Yeah.
Like...
It's because white people get to do anything. And Asians, we, like... I don't know. We're always driven by, like, providing for our family.
Yeah.
So naturally...
Yeah, and America's not driven by, like... It's not, like, a community-based society.
It's so individualistic.
Yeah. Which is really frustrating.
It's so frustrating, yeah. I thought, like, movies and TV shows were exaggerating.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I used to think that. And then I came here and I was like, what are you guys doing? What is this?
Yeah, it's just, like, it's so weird, because, like, yeah, I feel like people in America are always like, oh, like, I mean, everyone in America, like, just tends to take things for granted. Like, they're just like, oh, this is what it's like here, so it's like this in the rest of the world. Yeah. But then, like, I feel like they don't get as much of a culture shock when they go into other countries, but then when people from other countries come into America, they're like, I feel like it... Yeah, I feel like it's more, I feel like it's, because I feel like it's more human nature to bond, like, in groups than it is to, like, try to live on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, I don't know. I wonder if, like, there's just, like, generally, like, more of a, like, I wonder if that's why America, like, the pandemic has been so hard here, because, like, I mean, it's been hard everywhere, but I'm wondering why, like, if that's why, like, the mental health aspect of it in America has been so hard, because because we don't naturally have, like, real, like, communities here in the States. And so it's, like, because, like, I feel like in, like, in a lot of African countries, like, people just, like, you live with your grandparents and your
Yeah.
parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, of course you're going to be with, like, all of your family, and also you know how to put the good of other people in front of your own. Like, in America, everyone's like, oh, I don't care if I don't wear a mask.
Yeah,
but then, like, if you're living with your grandparents, then
yeah,
you have to be careful. And so, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just really interesting to see how people here don't, yeah, like, they just don't really get it. Like, they don't understand, like, the fact that in Kenya we would go over to our neighbor's house, knock on the door, and be like, hey, can we borrow this?
Like, yeah, oh my gosh, that's the fact that people here would say, like, no for, like, a cup of sugar. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
And the fact that, like you lived in, like, Hong Kong, which is like a city.
Yeah.
But you still like have those experiences.
Yeah,
because
Asian societies are very, like, communal based and everything, and very family oriented.
Yeah, but in America, it's like, oh, put up a fence so that way your neighbor can't come anywhere near you.
Yeah,
like,
but you know what? At the same time, I find it really interesting that, like, Americans now are feeling, like, so alone and everything. But you imagine how it feels for, like, community-based societies.
Yeah, for community-based societies where
it's, like, even worse. Where it's like part of our lives every single day. We've like, grown up like that.
Yeah, even when we were in Kenya, it was, like, really hard because, like, people couldn't go to church. And obviously there's, like, no internet out in the village. And so people were like, what do we do? Like, like, how do you... Because, like, church is, like, such, like, a fellowship thing in, like, Kenya.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you even have church if you can't have people there?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Even simple things like eating meals together. Yeah. Like, for us, meal times is so...
Yeah.
It's, like, the time that you bond. And then we have, like, tea time, you know?
Yep.
And the fact that you can't have that anymore,
Yeah, it's so... yeah, it's, like, so sad. And even, like... I mean, even here, like, eating with a bunch of people at one of those, like, round tables is, like, such a college experience.
Yeah. And we don't.
And we can't do that.
Yeah, we get 2 people. They're really trying to set us up for Ring by Spring. Another thing about Messiah.
Yeah, that's at every Christian college though. Like,
True.
that, friends at Liberty who have said stuff about that, people at Wheaton. It's just like Christian college thing where everyone's like, I don't understand why that is. Like, why do people at Christian colleges feel the need to get married so quickly?
I mean, I don't know. It's a complicated issue. It definitely has to do with the fact that, like, especially in America, you're pressured to, or at least, like, it's a common practice to be married young, and then, like...
But the thing is, that's not even true anymore.
Not anymore?
No, and now it's, like... I mean, also, marriage rates are changing as, like... Because, like, now, like... like, a lot more people are just moving in rather than, like, getting married and then moving in.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot more people are getting married, like, in their 30s now.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I don't care.
Honestly, the thing is, I want to be able to, like, live my life
before
I get married. Like, I'm like, okay, leave me alone.
I can barely take care of myself. How do you want me to take care of another person?
Yeah, like, give me... But then I think that's also, like, a really hard, like... I mean, obviously, I don't know anything. I'm not married or anything. But
none of us
like,
are.
Obviously, this is but I feel like this is kind of like a common misconception about marriage, at least from women's point of view, from a lot of countries, is that you're going to be taking care of your husband as if you're going to be taking care of a child.
Yes.
And it's like, and the thing is, if you get married young, he's not going to be that mature, and neither are you, and so it is going to be, like, taking care of a child. And so I feel like a lot of people just need to wait to get married until they're at the age where you can both take care of each other instead of you having to take care of him.
Yeah. Like, I firmly believe that you should get married after 26, because 26 is when the brain fully develops.
Well, 28 for guys, so...
Oh! Yeah, okay, we can wait longer.
That's why you gotta find a guy who's older than you. So by the time you're mature, he's mature too.
True. This is not happening with me. Liam's younger than me.
Yeah, almost all the guys I've, like, ever been interested in are younger.
I know, right?
I'm like, bro, what is this? And I don't know if it's, like, because I'm, like, in America, I'm 2 months, like, younger than, like, the cutoff date. And so I'm like, one of the oldest people in our class.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's why. I'm always like, oh, hey. And then he's like, oh, yeah, this is my birthday. I was born in, like, 2002. And I'm like,
What?
2002? You were a child. Like,
you started walking yesterday.
yeah. Like, yeah, it's so weird. Because, like, oh, my gosh. And it freaks me out that, like, kids born in, like, 2005?
Yeah, are they
16?
real? What?
Bella is about to be 16.
They don't feel real.
No. Kids born after
like,
2003 definitely don't exist.
Yeah, they're just there. They're things. They're blobs.
Yeah, they're just kind of like...
existing.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
Yeah, and it's just so weird.
I don't like that. You know Kara's 2002?
Kara's too... Oh, I feel like I kind of did know that because she's younger than us.
Yeah, she just turned 18.
Yeah.
And we're 19. I'm going to be 20 this year.
Same! It's so scary. Wait, when's your birthday? Your
August
birthday's
28th.
August.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I also don't like the thought of not being a freshman anymore. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the more years you go through college, the more real it gets that I'm an adult and I'm about to be working for the rest of my life. And, like, I hate working. Like, okay, that sounds so bad. No, I hate the fact that, like, in order to make a living, you often have to do jobs that don't ultimately satisfy you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because I'm always, like, because my mom's always like, oh, well, just push through it. And I'm like, I can.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Like, ultimately, I need to have meaning or else I can't keep doing something.
Also, because you and I are people who are, like, we have a lot of interests in a lot of different fields.
Yeah.
Very varied fields. Like, I mean, you're a clinical psych, and then...
But then dance.
Yeah,
and then statistics.
And then you like to sing.
And I'm considering a gender studies minor.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I'm graphic design, but I'm thinking of going into bio pre-med.
Yeah, pre-med.
Oh.
Yeah.
And, like, writing as well.
Creative writing. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Yeah. And so it's, like, it's really hard to, like, narrow it down. And so then, like... I'm like, ultimately, I think I could be fulfilled by a lot of jobs, but I know it could not be an office job. I know it could not be anything with business. Same. Or, like, anything that just revolves around money. I'm like, that's useless.
Oh.
Like, I remember at some point in high school, I said something like, oh, I hate money. I honestly could be poor for the rest of my life, and I don't care. Like, I can honestly, like, I would honestly rather do, like, be, like, a counselor for free than, like, have money at all. And then I was like, maybe I can live without money. And then someone was like, you literally can't. Like, you have to be able to buy food. And I was like, yeah, like, yeah. But it's so hard because, like, I don't want to have to, like, rely on money.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know if this is just me, but do you kind of hate the idea of being rich? Or, like, even being, like, well off or, like, stable in a way?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm just so used to being broke.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that partially comes from, like, I mean, obviously, like, a lot of Asian cultures are, like, more, like, perfectionistic, and then American culture is, like, you better be working all the time, or else you're useless, and so, like, I feel like we both, like, feel the need to be working all the time.
Yeah, like, for sure.
I mean, obviously.
You and I are workaholics. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I actually, last Saturday, it was either Saturday or Sunday. I, like, almost had a panic attack because I wasn't doing anything, but I didn't have anything to do. Yeah. And I was like,
I hate those
what?
ones.
And I just felt so sick, and I was like, I have nothing to do, and I don't want to get out of bed, but there's no reason to get out of bed. And, like, and I can't sleep because I'll, like, wake up thinking of, like, things that I need to do or whatever. And, like, but then it's, like, that's not even due for another, like, 3 weeks.
I know.
And, like, things like that. But then, like, I procrastinate so much because I'm so scared it's going to not be good enough. And so it's just so bad.
Yeah, like, I get actual nightmares of that. Like,
oh my gosh, I had a dream the other day that I like, walked into IO Psych, and Dr. Brockman was like, oh yeah, guys, by the way, you're turning in your, like, group project outlines today, and we didn't have ours. And I, like, I woke up and I was like, when is that due? Okay, it's due on February 15th.
All the
I'm
time.
Good. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, and group projects are the worst because I feel like that's another thing of, like, perfectionists is that you can't trust anyone else.
And you can't control anything.
And you can't control anything, and so you're, like, freaking out because you're like, just let me do it.
Hello?
Hello.
I forgot my project.
You what?
Yesterday I forgot my face, and today I forgot my third project. Anyway. The gallery. And then we came back up, and that's when we were going to start our project.
Uh-huh.
But I got all my supplies, and I remembered everything, and I was like, so I had to come back here and get my stupid
Does he know?
project.
Does he know? Did you
I
tell
told
him?
Daisy to tell him if he came back.
Okay.
But, like, we're pretty chill. I'm sure he'll be fine.
It's color and design, right?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, he should be fine with it.
Fine.
You have so much time in class anyway, so.
Well, now we don't, but anyway. Fine.
Have fun.
I'm sure as heck will.
Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
I forgot what we were saying.
Yeah, something about perfectionism.
Oh, group projects.
Yeah, group project, how you can't rely on anyone. It's like, it's the worst. You know what's also the worst is that I'm in the honors program.
Yeah.
And I do not want to be. But, like, the thing is I want to get into, like, a good grad school because I really want to be able to go to a school that has a good research program.
Mm-hmm.
But, and obviously you can get into good grad schools without the honors program, but it's just going to be slightly easier. But, like, every single person in the honors program is, like, a burned out gifted kid. Like, you can tell. Like, everyone, like, we all know exactly what to do to, like, get a good grade.
Uh-huh.
Like, and, like, everyone is constantly just, like, yeah, it's just, and it's really, like, unnecessarily competitive. Like, even my friends who don't really care that much about grades and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
who are in the honors program, are still, like, they, like, participate a ton, and they definitely clearly want to be there. And I'm, like, I feel like I'm the only person who does not want to be here.
Uh-huh.
And, like, it's just, like, weird. Because it feels like, I don't know, it feels like I shouldn't be there. But, like, not because I feel, like, not smart enough, but because I feel like I don't care. Because I ultimately, it's not, like, I don't feel like being a gifted kid is really, like, my purpose in life anymore.
Yeah,
and so, like,
not anymore. It
yeah,
was
so,
when I was, like, 5.
so I don't feel the need to, like last night when we did our, like, Odyssey Zoom discussion,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully I was in, like, he put us in breakout rooms to, like, do little discussions. And so we get into the discussion room, and one of the guys in the room is just like, so, did any of you guys actually read this? I was like, no.
Oh, no.
I was like, no, I didn't. I even forgot my book at home.
Oh, no.
And he was like, okay, chill. And I was like, I got Spark Notes pulled up, though. And so we're sitting there, like, making up answers, like, to all these questions, because we were supposed to, like, when we got back, like, with the whole group, we were supposed to, like, talk about, like, because he gave us, like, a list of, like, 10 questions that we could go through and, like, talk about a few of them. And I was like, I literally don't know what any of these are about.
Yeah.
And then I was, like, looking through Spark Notes, and I was like, okay, this is one we can answer with Spark Notes. And so, like, but yeah, it was, but that's, like, the first experience I've had with people in the honors program being like, oh, I didn't read it. Like, everyone in, like, the honors program is like, you, like, if I look in other people's CCC books, they have things underlined and highlighted and, like, stars and sticky notes and with stuff written in it.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, for what? You did this for what? Like,
yeah.
like, I haven't even, to be honest, really read any of the things that we're supposed to have been doing for CCC, because I'm like, because it's on my busy day, like, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I have so many other things to be doing for this.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, what have I been doing? Because I haven't been doing dance history reading, and I haven't been doing the reading for CCC. So what have I been doing? I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I'm in that
It's like,
stage
I don't know what I'm doing with my
Exactly.
time.
But then, I don't know, you're just, like, caught in a weird limbo of, like, you're actually kind of doing stuff, but then you think
You're
about
kind
it
of doing
and
stuff,
you're
but
not
then
doing
you think about it, and
anything.
it's like, ugh, why can't I just learn for the sake of learning rather than, like, having to do things? Like, I just want to be able to, like, actually, like, pursue, like, knowledge.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, trying to, like, get grades or analyze something in a certain way.
But then at the same time, I feel so much of the pressure to do well.
Yeah.
Just because it's it's
Yeah,
our
just
nature.
it's our nature, yeah.
And, like last semester, I was so upset. I cried for, like, a full day because I got a B.
Same!
Right? I got all A's and 1 B. And
But
I was like 1% away from an A.
Yeah.
I was
oh my
so
gosh, same.
upset
That
with
happened
it.
in literally 2 of my classes. I had an 89.9 in stats.
I had 89.7, I think.
And I was like, ah.
I was pissed off.
Yeah.
And very disappointed in myself. Because I'm an Asian, not a Bijan. That's what my sister always tells me. You're an Asian, not a Bijan, okay? And that's what I've lived by my whole life. So, yeah. And also, like, the whole, like, gifted kid syndrome. Oh, because, like, I was that kid, too.
Yeah.
And
it's like, it's because,
so
like,
weird.
it's because when you're told that, you don't get taught how to work. You just get taught how to get good grades.
Yeah.
And so... And, like, the thing is, my mom, she's always like, but I did teach you how to work. And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't working hard. Like, I didn't, like, it still didn't take that much mental effort.
Yeah.
I mean, there were obviously things that were still hard, but ultimately, like, I would get through them in, like, a few days for some things. And so it, like, yeah, and obviously, like, I feel like, I'm not sure if this is true, but I feel like at least for me, like, positive moments have stood out more from my past. Like, I mean, not always, but, like, when I think about school, I think about all the times that people have been like, oh my gosh, you got an 100, that's really cool, instead of all the times because obviously I don't show people if I get bad grades.
Yeah.
And so, like, that all I remember is, like, getting good grades and, like, getting through things easily and teachers being like, oh, wow, I can't believe, like, you already knew that or whatever. And so, like, that's all I really remember because, like, if I didn't know anything, then I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
So...
And also because you and I are very, like, intuitive people. We understand things very quickly.
Yeah.
And we pick up stuff
Yeah.
very, very quickly. And I feel like we rely on that a lot.
Yes, we do. But then, like, when you can't pick up on something quickly, you don't know what to do.
Yeah. You question your whole existence because it's like, you've built so much based on knowing stuff intuitively. And then when you don't have that anymore, it's like, what am I actually doing?
Yeah, and I feel like knowing stuff intuitively also, like, it's like... you kind of, like, put the information in your head and you basically, like, for the first few times that you try to do something, you pretend that you know how to do it.
Yeah.
And then you, like, get it on your own and then you go back and, like, when you're doing it with other people, then you, like, actually get it. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, when you're expected to, like, just kind of pick something up and then do it instantly, you're like,
That's when I doubt myself a lot, I think. Yeah, because I always feel, like, really stupid when I know that I understand something, but it's, like, maybe something, like, it's not put into application yet, so I don't completely, like, you know, it's not...
Yeah, I used to try to do, like, in 4th grade when we were doing, like, long division or whatever, I used to try to get all the problems done before my teacher even started them.
Yeah.
So that way I could see if I was, like, right or whatever, and I would, like, take my little red pen out and, like, go and, like, redo things, and oh my gosh, I would get so upset at myself when I got ones wrong. I would be like, you're so dumb. I can't believe you got that wrong. Like, things like that.
And you get into the whole cycle of, like, oh, I should have known that. I would have known that if I did something previously.
Yeah, or you're like... And then you kind of, like, realize that there's, like, nothing to blame, like, the fact that you got it wrong on, so you start just blaming it on yourself. You're like... Instead of being like, oh, I should have known that because I read my textbook, like, you're like, I should have known that because... I'm, like, smart.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be smart.
So I'm not smart because I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then you get into that, and then you get into, like what you know, like, determines your worth. And then, but the only way to measure what you know is by grades, and so then your grades end up defining you, and then you just don't.
Yeah. And for us, I think that, like, I mean, I'm kind of just, like, throwing stuff in. But, like, especially as women, when we want to prove ourselves, especially in, like, fields
especially because we also both grew up in, like, male dominant societies. Yeah. And so, like, where women's education is less valued, where, like, women's positions are, like...
Just our existence in general.
Yeah, just, like... Women are expected to have children and cook,
take care of the family,
and like, work in the field and things like that. And so, yeah.
Especially because we're, like... I mean, you are -T, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we are still like pretty assertive people.
Oh yeah, for
Kind of.
people who are listening, we're talking about Myers-Briggs type indicator. So I'm an INFJ-T with the 16 personalities website,
Yeah.
and then Phoebe is
INTJ.
INTJ.
Yeah, INTJ. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's given me hope. Being an INTJ female
This
has
is
been...
why that's why you said sit up, son.
Yeah, when he told me that he liked me.
Yeah.
So anyways, basically, my current boyfriend confessed to me, and the first thing I did was I laughed in his face because I misunderstood what he
was
meant.
saying.
And I said, huh? And then once I got over that, he was slouching in his chair, and I thought that he wasn't he was being not serious about it. So I said, sit up, boy. Tell me again. Oh my gosh. He was about ready to cry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Being an INTJ.
But yeah, and especially because I feel like in Asia, a lot of women are expected to be just quiet.
Yeah. And we're not. We're very outspoken. We're very opinionated, and we know what we want, and we know what we're thinking.
Yeah,
and that's always been a very big struggle
for
us. And so I think that extends a lot to our academic career because it's so ingrained into us to to want to prove ourselves.
Yeah,
because we're just surrounded by men all the time,
and even for psychology, there are very few female psychologists in history. I mean, there are a lot more female psychologists than there have been female chemists who are really talked about, because because by the time psychology really became a big thing was mid 1900s.
Yeah.
And so that was when women really started working a lot more. But it's still whenever it's just sad that whenever we're in class and my professor's oh yeah, this lady thought of this theory, I'm hey!
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's yeah, and even for you who is studying art and stuff,
very
art
dominated.
Yeah, art is majority the majority of pieces, famous pieces that you study are
from men. And even when you see stuff from women, there's this subconscious idea that it's
just not as good.
Yeah, and it's just oh, it's beautiful art and that's it because it's made by women.
Yeah,
you know, and women are more in tune with our feelings and everything, and so it's it's just stereotyped as very emotional and pretty, and that's it.
Yeah, it's also so weird that everyone's oh, art is such a feminine thing because it's showing your emotions, but then the field is still male dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's true anymore, but in the past, so why do people nowadays, they're oh yeah, Leonardo da Vinci, he was cool or whatever, and then they're oh, but you're a boy and you like theater, you're probably not straight. Things like that. I just don't understand why that happens.
Yeah, there's definitely a disconnect between historical
and
current gender norms and everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's weird because it obviously varies by country, but not that much, because in most places women are still fighting for rights.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting because it'd be really interesting to see a matriarchal society.
I would love to see that.
That would be... I'm trying to think. There was something that I was reading about that was a matriarchal society. I think it's some tribe in Kenya. Or somewhere in East Africa, but...
I know there's a caste in India that's just completely women. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember. I read this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was I want to move there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's this village in Kenya where men aren't allowed in. Mm-hmm. And it's a place for survivors of sexual assault and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't but I know it, like, didn't start as, like, a matriarchal society. And it, like, and, like, the village was only, like, really, like, founded as, like, a safe space, like, I think, like, 30 or 40 years ago, probably. So,
yeah. I mean, I even just want, like, the bare minimum of, like, a woman being in leadership, you know? Like, I'm gonna move to New Zealand because Jacinda Ardern, I love her. I have the biggest crush on that woman. Like, oh my gosh. Every time she comes on, I'm like, mesmerized.
Yeah, and she's just, like...
She's amazing. She's incredible.
She's really cool, and she manages to, like, stay, like, so composed. Like, have you seen that video of her, like, giving a speech during the earthquake?
Yes.
Like, that is crazy. Like,
yeah. Does she love when women...
just when women. Yeah, and also, the, I think, Prime Minister of Norway or Sweden. Like, I think her and, like, the majority of her cabinet members are women.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
I know.
Like, it's just, like, what changes could be made with, like, more, like, minorities and more women in, like, power. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not, like, a misandrist. Like, I don't, like, I'm not, like, oh... men deserve to be oppressed, because no one deserves to be oppressed.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, it's like there are some changes that need to happen, and women should be included in making those changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we've experienced, I mean, obviously we haven't, like, personally experienced it quite as much as, like, people in, like, the 1960s did, but, like, we've still experienced, like, things based on our, like, gender that have to, like, be changed. Like, I don't, like, if I do have kids, which I hope I don't, but
just adopt.
Like
when you're talking to me about the pregnancy stuff, I was
my gosh, yeah,
I could not.
Yeah, I almost threw up during developmental psychology because we were talking about prenatal, like, conception stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh,
I mean, it's incredible
that the human, but
you're pushing a baby out of your vagina?
Yeah, no, and, like, a little squishy thing inside you that moves.
That's living, and you know that it's there all the time.
And it has a little tail. Girl, I won't...
Sounds like a parasite. I'm sorry, but...
No, it does!
It sounds like a parasite.
Yeah, and it's like... Yeah, oh, gosh. But yeah, they're just... Like, if I ever did have, like, a daughter, I would not want her to grow up, like, in fear that, like, if she's walking down the street, someone's gonna attack her. Like, things like that. Like, I don't... Yeah. And I don't want to have to, like... Yeah. And, like, if I had, like, a son, I wouldn't want him to be, like... Oh, well, I can, like, do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, and I also, like, wouldn't want, like, him to, like, be like, oh... women are less valuable, even if it wasn't, like, a conscious thing that he thought. Like, even if it was just, like, a subconscious thing and, like, the way he acted, I wouldn't want that to happen. Because, like, I know what it's like to have people my own age who are like that.
Yeah.
Which is literally the worst. I don't understand how people can be like that.
Yeah, still. Like, come on.
Like, no, and I don't understand how so many men are like, oh, so you hate men, when I'm like... can we please have, like, equal rights?
Yeah.
Like,
that's just it.
In, like, every country in the world, I don't understand how it's, like, so, yeah, it's mind-boggling. How do people, like,
I don't know. Especially because you and I grew up in, like, the countries that we grew up in, we experienced a lot of, like, sexual trauma.
Yeah.
And we're exposed to so much of it at a young age. But then I feel like the expectations that we have, they're not. This is basic human decency.
Yeah, like, I hate it when, like, and it's the same with, like, capitalism and stuff like that. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you want to give free healthcare and free clean water to people who can't afford it? You're a communist. Like, what is... Huh? Like...
oh my gosh, that... I will have an aneurysm talking about that. Oh my god. I can feel the blood pressure in my head.
Yeah, it literally, like, makes me so mad. Like, how
do you think that way?
How are you just so, like...
Ignorant
and, like, selfish that you think that, like, your way is always the best way, even when it's clearly not. Like,
yeah, I think it's just coming, like, being born into a place of privilege.
Yeah.
Like, it all
But,
stems
like,
from
even
that.
like, people who are, like, less privileged here,
Sometimes,
like,
yeah.
sometimes are still like that, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, because, like, why would you want anyone else to go through that if you know what it feels like?
That's the thing I also hate when, like, I, like, say something like, oh, I'm, like, a feminist or whatever, and guys are like, oh, so you want women to oppress men? And I'm like, no. Because I wouldn't, like, as much as I, like, dislike or disagree with some people, I would not wish this on anyone. Like, the same as, like, when people, like, make fun of, like, mentally ill people, I'm like, I have, like, experienced that, but I still would not wish it on you because I know how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, that kind of thing. It's, like, we're not fighting for women's rights so that way we can oppress men. We're fighting for women's rights so that way we're not oppressed anymore. Like, yeah. And, like, obviously there have been so many steps made, and obviously I'm a white woman, so, like, yeah, I have, like, a lot more privilege than, like, women of color, but it's still, like, I don't feel like, I feel like a lot of white women are just like, oh, yeah, well, we can, like, vote and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but, like, our, like, sisters of color who are still, like, we have sisters of color who are still being, like, discriminated against and stuff, and we can't, like, I feel like you can't, like, really call yourself a feminist unless you're, like, actively fighting against all kinds of prejudice.
Yeah.
Which includes, like, not prejudice against men, because prejudice implies that it's, like, a systematic thing, but, like, toxic masculinity and things like that. Like, the idea that, oh, guys shouldn't cry, guys shouldn't be emotional, like, things like that. Like, I feel like, if you're a feminist, you're gonna be fighting against that, too.
That's as much as our fight is like... Yeah, it's everyone's fight. This is, like, a human problem, not just, like, a gender-based problem. Yeah. Which I hate, and... I don't know, it's the worst. I hate that we have to separate things, like, oh, that's a man's fight. This one's a woman's fight. Like, no, it's just a human fight. What?
I also hate that when, like, people, like, a lot of, like, guys, when they bring up, like, rape and stuff, like, or, like, when you bring up, like, rape, like, in, like, the statistics of women, they're like, oh, but men get raped too, and I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, we know that, like, we know that, but we're talking about, like, it's a lot more common in women, first of all, and we never said that men don't, and we also, like, we're saying that all of it is bad. Yeah. We're just bringing up women's statistics because we are women. Like, and because this is the statistics that affects us.
Yeah, and it's also just, like, the overwhelming majority of statistics. Yeah. And also because, like, the fact that men are less likely to report instances of sexual assault or rape or harassment because of societal pressures and expectations placed on men and toxic masculinity and all that.
It's just all ultimately bad for, like, everyone. But it's, like, it's the same thing as, like, when people say, like, oh, all lives matter instead of, like, Black Lives Matter. Like, when people say that, it's like, have you watched the like, video series Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've watched
it. I haven't watched, like, a lot of them, but there's this one where, I can't remember his name. But he sits down with a group of white police officers, and he's, like, explaining why, like, basically why Black Lives Matter. And he's like, blue lives have never been, like, a thing. Yeah. Like, because you can, when you take off that uniform, no one's gonna, like, come after you because of what you look like. But, like, people are born, like, with the skin color that they have. And so, like, we have to emphasize that Black Lives Matter because obviously, like, the original Constitution, it said all men are created equal. Yeah. And it's like, okay, but that was all, like, white men. Yeah. Not all men. And And so why you have to specify Black Lives Matter is because when you said all lives matter, like back in the 1800s, what you meant by that was all white lives.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like, yeah, so that's why you have to specify. And it's the same thing as like being pro women's rights, but that doesn't mean you're against men's rights. It just means you have to specify, because in the past when you say, oh, equal rights, that meant for equal rights for every white man.
Yeah, and also
like,
it's just like taking into account like the history of the fact that people, like Black people, have not had the same treatment in human rights and everything, and like now is the time to fight for that, to make sure that all men are equal.
Yeah,
like all men, all men. Yeah.
Girls say it louder for people in the back.
Oh man. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's just frustrating. And then it's even more frustrating when people use the Bible to claim that, oh, you shouldn't be doing this.
When people just use religion in general in like the wrong.
Yeah, it's like I saw something that was like, using God's name in vain is not just like using it like what we would typically think of using it in vain. It's like, it's using the Bible for your own like manipulative purposes. Yeah. Like that's literally just as bad as using the Bible to like back up something that like it clearly like, or like taking passages out of context. Oh my gosh, like literally every Christian does that.
Yeah. I mean, we're all guilty of it, but at the same time, how could you like know that you're taking it out of context and then use it against someone else? It's like, it's such a weird mindset to get into. Like, how do you think that you have the right to claim God's words as your own and be like, yeah, this is what he meant?
Yeah. And like, and even seeing like even passages that people are like, even like, because a lot of Christian Americans are like, oh well, God basically says in the Bible that you have to, like, that poor people are poor because they didn't work hard enough. Like, and I'm like, in the Bible it literally says God is going to, like, destroy the rich.
Eat the rich.
I'm like,
please. We're ready for it right now.
Those billionaires looking like snacks. but yeah, like, so it's like, how can you... Like, I don't understand. And, like, me and Em were talking about this the other day, but I would like to think that, like, if I went back into, like, the 1800s, like, I would still be like this, but I don't know, because it's really a cultural thing. Like,
it's so hard to say.
Like, it's really hard to say. Like, I mean, if I was still, like, from Boston or whatever, there's a higher chance that I would be like anti-slavery, but it's more likely that I'd be like passively anti-slavery. Like I wouldn't actually be doing anything, like,
because you don't have the same access to education, especially for women as
and that's true too, is that women didn't have as much access to education, so it's really hard to say like what.
And we were just taught to be like dumbed down. And like if it was like 200 years ago and I was in China or Singapore, I mean, Singapore wasn't a thing then. We're like 50 years old. That's it. So most likely like China or somewhere. I would definitely already be married. I would have like
you would have
4
like
kids.
multiple kids.
Yeah.
And I would probably...
I'd like to think that we would still be
us, but we wouldn't be. Like, even if my parents had me in 1992, the year after they got married, I would be a completely different person. Exactly. Because I would remember 9/11.
Oh,
which is crazy because I was born like a month after 9/11.
Yeah.
And so like I would remember that. So I would remember life before, like especially if we had still been missionaries, I would remember life before there was airport security. Like,
airport security. You know, I do get racially profiled because even though I'm Asian, and it's like, I have a textbook in my backpack.
It's so hard too because like after there was like a terrorist attack in Nairobi on one of the malls, and it was done by like an Islamic extremist group from like Somalia. And after that, I remember we went from, it was like a year after that, I think, we went to Greece, but we stopped in the Middle East. And I just remember being so scared that we were gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
And like looking back on that, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like that's like that's the same thing. Like saying that all like Muslims are terrorists is the same as saying all Christians are Trump supporters.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like there are extreme hate groups from literally every single religion.
Yeah, it's just kind of a natural human tendency.
It's just like what people do
to group together and hate a bunch of stuff
for no reason.
Yeah, it's just how extreme you are.
But yeah, and but I remember like this most recent time coming back from Kenya, I remember seeing like a guy who was like clearly like of Middle Eastern descent in like the airport, and my brain instantly went, oh my gosh, what if we die? And then I was like, and then I like kind of stopped myself. I was like, wait, that's ridiculous. Like literally, like that's like saying because I'm white, I'm like gonna like go burn a cross in like a black person's front yard. Yeah. Like I'm not. Yeah, like I'm not a white supremacist just because I'm white, and like, and that's like the same as saying like, oh, like all like Asian people are like
carriers of disease,
or are like super smart, or like all black people are like from like the hood or whatever, or like are drug addicts. I hate that stereotype. Like
I know, I hate it too.
It's so frustrating because like literally, like Mariah is like literally the nicest person I know.
The sweetest person in the world.
Like most black people I know are like literally so like sweet and stuff, and like, and it's also hard because like they're stereotyped as like the angry black woman stereotype is such a like stereotype, and so like it's hard for them to even stand up for themselves without people being like, oh, you're getting angry, you're gonna be violent, like.
And you know what, I hate when people like, especially like, Mariah has told me this before, but like sometimes it's a thing where black people will tell other black people like, you don't act black.
Yes,
that is the worst. That's racism.
Do people ever say to you that you don't act Asian?
Yes, like they told me like the banana or the egg thing. You know, like, oh, you're white on the inside but Asian on the outside. People have told me that I'm the banana. I hate that.
That's awful.
Hate that.
Yeah, no, and I actually used to feel like that too, except I was like, when I was in like 3rd grade, I would be like, I said I was Kenyan.
Yeah. Like,
because I was like, I act more Kenyan than American, but now I realize I'm like, I do not act Kenyan. I don't really act American either. I act like a missionary. Don't know. I act like a missionary kid. But yeah, when I was younger, I would be like, yeah, I know I'm white, but I'm still Kenyan. And like, yeah, it's just like frustrating because like, why does it really like matter what you look like? I guess like if you're like, it's same with like, I feel like a lot of like Indigenous people struggle with this in America, like being like, people are like, oh well, you don't, or like even just like white passing like Latino people, like it's just like, oh well, you don't look like that. And then they're like, is that
how I'm supposed to be?
And it's like, yeah, well, this is like, it's my like cultural upbringing. It doesn't matter like what I look like. And so I feel like, I feel like that's like hard because like being told that like you're not like, it's like being told that you don't fit in like literally an entire region of the world where everyone, like it's like being told that, oh, you don't fit with those people who don't look like you, but you don't fit with us either. Yeah. Like,
and it's also just such a bad assumption to bring up, to like say that, oh, if you look like this, you have to act like that.
Yeah. Like I know a lot of like Asian Americans who act like honestly a lot more American than I do. And like, so do I. But yeah, it's just like so weird for me as like a white person to like go through like stereotypes and stuff. Like I've started like trying to like untrain myself from like whenever I walk past like a group of black people, I used to get really scared, and like I'm having to like unlearn that. No, it's whenever I walk past a group of guys at all. Literally. Oh yeah. Okay, white guys literally. Why did they literally stand in a group?
Why are they like a hive mind? I don't get it
either.
Groupthink. That's it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, like really, like, and they all look exactly the same with the
they
same
sound
haircut.
the same. They dress the same.
Like,
they have the white boy clothes. You
it's
know,
like
the
dude.
Oh, hate. Absolutely hate it. Like, I'll do it ironically, but at the same time, I hate it.
Remember Kara
When
was
she
doing
would
that,
do
and
that?
I was like, literally, stop! I hate it so much.
I hate it, but I also kind of love it when she does it.
When she does it, it's funny because it's like satire.
Yeah.
Like, it's like making fun of something. But then, like, when people actually do it unironically, I'm like, what is wrong?
Actually?
It actually freaks me out.
I know.
And that's why, like, even, like, because, like, I have, like, me and Em have very different, like, tastes in, like, people that we like.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, because she likes more traditional, like, the more stereotypical kind of guy that an American girl would like the more, like, the athletic guy. And stuff like that. And I'm like, but when I think of that, I just think of instantly be like, it's up, girl. Like, and I'm like, ew.
I know.
And so, like, even, like, I literally can't even, like, if I see a guy with muscles, I will instantly avoid him because I know he's probably gonna be like that.
I know. And then, like, okay, to tie it back to, like, sexual trauma and stuff, like, I am terrified of a guy who's obviously, like, very physically fit.
Yeah.
And, like, has...
Yeah, because you never know.
Yeah, because there's always, like, the thinking in the back of your
Yeah,
mind,
I think
he
that,
could kill me.
Yeah, no, and I think that is part of, like, why, like, when I dated Justin, I think that's part of why I was like, okay, I feel, like, safe with him because he's literally skinny.
Because
and
you could take him. We could all take him.
I could take him for sure. Yeah, and so, like, yeah, like, his name in my phone is literally Noodle. And so... But yeah, so, like, it's like I could knock you out, like, but then it's like this is why I don't hang out with, like, athletic guys, because I know they could take me out, and I'm like,
oh, they could take us out,
and it's scary.
It's terrifying, and, like, especially because, not to stereotype or anything, but they tend to be in sports, you tend to have a more, like, aggressive
personality,
disposition, and knowing that, and then matching that with, like,
that with, like, the physically fit, and matching that with the have you seen that tweet that's like, oh, do everything with the confidence of a straight white man?
Yes.
Yeah,
I wish.
That's exactly what, like, this reminds me of, is, like, and they just, like, have confidence because they never experienced any kind of, like, threat against them, except maybe, like, another sports team of white boys.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of, like, guys, like, just randomly get into fights with each other. It's because they feel threatened, because that's the only thing they feel threatened by.
It's so animalistic. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go home and take a nap. What are you doing?
But then it's like, at the same time, it's like, but then sometimes they're like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, guys are weird.
Yeah, basically guys are weird. Yeah, we don't associate with those.
Yeah, basically guys are weird.
How did we get here? I don't even remember.
Girl, I don't know.
We have gone completely off topic.
Wait, I want to see what else I even wrote about.
College majors, personality typing. And we kind of talked.
We kind of talked about, like, literally all of this.
I know.
We talked about the capitalism. I kind of, like, I wrote these things down and I was like, I know we're already gonna, like, talk about these things.
Oh, because you and I, when we get together,
this is what we talk about.
Yeah, we talk about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
But let's talk about personality typing. Tell me about being an INFJ. You're what, 4 wing 5?
Yeah, I'm a 4 wing 5.
Got it.
Are you a 1?
I'm a 1 wing 2.
I knew you were a 1.
I know. It's so predictable.
You literally act like a 1. I feel like most INTJs are 1s.
Most of them are, yeah.
Yeah, but literally all the memes that you see about INFJs being like, oh, I'm so special, I'm so quirky, that's literally all true. I mean, especially because I'm a 4 also.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Yeah, we're really, like, in the smallest percentage possible.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, I used to, like, do so many things intentionally so that way I would stand out. I was like, I honestly, like, in 8th grade, I would wear, like, literally such ugly things or like such weird things because I was like, I want to get made fun of because that means I'm unique. And like, oh, it's so dumb. But at the same time, it's like, it's dumb, but it's also like the opposite of dumb because it's like
you really not like anyone else.
Yeah, and it's like I really don't want to be like anyone else, and it's like I just have like I put so much emphasis on authenticity, which is like really hard because like my mom and I have talked about this like a lot, like are your feelings always like authentic or are they just like can you like obviously because you don't want to like live by feelings, but if like feeling authentic is like an actual like emotion, then can you really live your life based on it and things like that. And so it's like it's just hard because I like oh my gosh, I cried when I was writing college essays because I would like read them over and over and be like, I'd be like, this doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, I did that too.
I'd be like, I know this is what they want to hear and I know this is what I have to write to get in, but like I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then for Messiah, I wrote just really whatever came to mind because I didn't want to go here.
and then
I got here. Yeah. But yeah, it's just so weird to... Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you have like the biggest desire to be unique and you want people to recognize that you're unique. Like, and then you find someone who's like similar to you and you're like, are you kidding me? I tried so hard. Like, I remember when I first like went to RVA, I was like, I listened to 21 Pilots. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
And then I met someone else who listened to 21 Pilots.
How dare you?
And we actually both hated each other because we, it's really funny though because I had a crush on him. And then my roommate ended up dating him. And then I had like a ton of beef with both of them. But yeah, But I found out later from my roommate that he also hated me because he thought he was super unique too. And so, because he was ENFP.
ENFP? Are you serious?
Yeah. And so he was like, so both of us were like, oh, we're so special. And then like we met each other and we're like, ew, you're so much like me. You're not supposed to be like that.
Yeah. And also I think it's just natural to kind of,
you either really want to fit in or you really want to stand out.
Yeah. And also when you meet someone who's similar to you, you either hate them or you
get along with them really well.
You are my soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah. So it's just... Yeah, it's very weird being an INFJ because like also I thought I was INTJ for a really long time.
Yeah,
because
I thought I was INFJ for a long time.
I thought I was INTJ because I'm very capable of rational thought, but then ultimately it's always my feelings that win rather than like my like thoughts. I'm like even I think this is kind of what has contributed to like my like depression and anxiety and stuff is that I'll be like, you know, like chilling, minding my business, and then my brain's like, oh, no one likes you, and then like the other part of my brain's like, hey, wait a minute, you literally were just talking to your friends, and then my emotions are like, yeah, but they don't like you though, and then my brain's like, yeah, okay, literally they like always hang out with you, things like that. And
they just told you that they love you.
Yeah, and then like my emotions are like, but you're wrong, and I'm like, good point. And it's literally just so bad. But yeah, so it's really weird because like it's like I'm always stuck in between like being like, okay, this is really what I feel, but I know it doesn't make any sense, but I'm gonna go with it anyway, and then be like, oh, I shouldn't have gone with it. Yeah.
INFJ things.
Just quirky INFJ things. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
Oh my gosh, we were talking about that before.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You ever see me without this stupid hat? That's weird.
Oh, ew. I hate that.
So what's it like being an INTJ?
INTJ, a female in an Asian society, and it was... I mean, for me, my struggles were definitely more on, like, the expectations placed on me because of the fact that I'm a woman, and I'm also, like, Asian, and hello again.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, anyways, Yeah, I mean, there was always the expectation placed on me that I was supposed to be, like, soft-spoken and submissive and, like, kind of not know what I want. But that was so
Yeah, like,
in
you're not
conflict.
like that.
Yeah, everyone knows that I'm not like that. And and it was so much in conflict with, like, the nature of who I am that I kind of doubted everything that I was. I was like,
Yeah, you were kind of like, oh, am I even, like, really supposed to be here?
yeah, and, like, am I supposed to be an INTJA? Yeah, so that's
Yeah, and it's like you kind of try to change yourself to try to, like, fit what...
And then, like, being a missionary kid, too, and, like, a TCK. And being, like, a TCK, we're trained to be very adaptable people.
Yeah.
So then that's, like, it's also a stereotype of INTJs to be, like, very fixed and very structured. And, like, the fact that I'm not, and I'm a girl and I grew up in an Asian society, I'm, like, the antithesis to every single thing that an INTJ should be.
Mm-hmm.
But I still am one. So, like, what's going on? I'm having an existential crisis. Just throw me into the void. That's it. I'm done. I'm ready to go.
I feel that. Like, especially because, like, as you said, TCKs are, like, supposed to be adaptable. And so, like, but then as an INFJ who wants to be, like, their most authentic self all the time, it always feels like I'm being fake.
Yeah. Definitely.
And, like, yeah, even, like, yeah, just, like, with anything, I'm like, I feel like I'm being fake. But then at the same time, it's like, if people misunderstand me, I feel like it's because I'm being fake, not just because they're not understanding me, just because they don't understand. I'm like, oh, no, I did something wrong.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, why, but I do be a special snowflake.
Can you just, like, dump us into an interdimensional vortex and then we'll never
Honestly,
emerge ever
please.
again? We're just gonna leave. I'm done with this.
Girl, is that a hairball?
Of course it's a hairball.
The hairball's on our floor.
No.
We need to vacuum.
I need to get a vacuum.
With
Hannah's
vacuum.
Yeah, I guess.
Hers is
I'm
abused.
It's that one from 1950 that smells like burnt toast.
I'm pretty sure it actually is from 1950.
It is.
Completely.
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Like, they
pretty sure.
remodeled the whole floor and they couldn't afford a new vacuum.
Girl, give this one to Noggle or something.
Yeah, Noggle.
It deserves to be there.
The
You
one
just
in
want Noggle,
Noggle.
Like, what is this?
The one in Noggle isn't even this bad. Like, when I worked in Noggle.
You worked in
I
Noggle?
forgot about that.
Yeah, it was at the beginning of
It was, like,
last
a complete
semester.
contrast to like this, and like this is nice.
Oh, yeah, you told me
It's
about
like-
that. How you would get lost in
Noggle
there?
is, like,
Yeah, girl, and it's so crusty.
Of course, it's
1970s
Noggle.
nightmare.
Oh. We don't talk about Noggle.
No,
we don't go there.
The
That's a
people were the
hellhole.
The people in the place. Yeah. There's no one good there.
Yeah. No one.
No one. Specifically on the guy's basement floor.
You name his room number? What's his room number? Say it right now.
I should know, though, because I've been to his room.
Just shout
That sounds
his
really
name
bad.
instead. Hey, Justin.
That's it.
But that's it.
Our daily dose of trashing men.
Thank you to our sponsors, Eggo Waffles and Grilled Cheese. Have a great day.
Thank you to our sponsors, the bowls of mac and cheese at Union.
Yeah, I told you. You know, I told you when you met him, don't date skater boys.
You literally
There's something
did.
else.
You
Also,
literally
he's a
told you.
noodle.
Yeah,
Most
we
people
we
do it themselves, okay?
we literally already talked about noodles. I was like, we were talking about how like how we don't
People
like
noodles or like food
People-
noodles?
No.
'cause
People
we were
noodles.
talking about- we were talking about how we don't like athletic guys because they scare us because they could easily like take us
us
down.
out.
But I was like, no, and then I was no, and then yeah, no, and then I was like, yeah, that's why I dated Justin because he was a noodle and I never felt threatened because I knew I could knock him
could
out.
take him out.
Literally, my pinky finger could take him. My
I mean-
pinky finger is the same width as his calf.
You're kind of not wrong though.
I told you not to date a skater
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, you did.
Especially when I saw that he wears flannel, I said, okay.
When no,
I was like,
Okay,
how
Elizabeth.
racist are we on a scale from 1 to 10?
Did you tell her about the satchel?
Oh, Although I just
The satchel?
Did I tell you?
Oh my gosh.
That anyway.
No, that doesn't count though. You were wearing it like underneath like a.
Nikes and leggings and
Yeah.
a crop top with a flannel. So I don't
Yeah,
think
that
that's the
doesn't
same
count.
thing.
That's
okay,
not
but
the-
this
that's not
man
the-
got a satchel.
Did you see him today?
Like a
When we
purse,
saw
like a purse?
when we saw him today? Did you see him today? When I was when we were walking to Falcon, I was like, hey, there he is, the man himself.
You didn't say that, did you?
I did. Did you not hear me?
You.
That's so sad. Because listen, okay, on Monday.
She's having a stroke.
on Monday when we're coming back from class.
The bed.
Well, because I'm like sitting like this. But on Monday when we come back from class, I'll have to like try to point him out to you. We should like
That
we'll walk
one?
back from class.
That one right there.
You'll know
I
it's
know what
him.
he looks like,
You'll
but I
know.
did not see that white crusty nose. He probably blended right in with the snow.
I literally made that joke earlier. But yeah, no. For me, it was the hat. It was the hat and the fact that this man probably slept in his hat. Like, okay, the 2 times I saw him with it off.
Wait,
Is he
what?
like one of those
Wait,
white
I
guys
just
who,
processed
like,
that.
lays back in the recliner and like pulls his hat down.
No,
You know, one of
no.
those? He
No.
might have, like, a piece of like I don't know, like a piece of like wheat hanging out of his mouth.
Ew, no.
No, that was him. And like, I only have seen him without his hat twice. And his hair is literally the worst. And
Because he has hat hair. It's
because he has
permanent
he has hat hair, and he also takes showers at night, and so he goes to bed with his hair wet, and so it goes.
I thought you were gonna say he goes to showers with his hat on.
And I'm like, okay, this is the best I've looked all day.
He takes showers with his hat on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what?
Would he like rub shampoo?
In the
And that hat was so on his head. The doctors really said, "Oh, he's a country boy."
Congratulations.
It's a country boy. Yeah, but oh my gosh, it was the hat that did it for me. The fact that whenever I saw that like post on the post on Twitter that's like the picture of the hat that says women want me, fish fear me.
Uh-huh.
The fact that every time I saw that hat I thought of him.
That hat exists means that we have failed as a country, okay? Oh god.
Yeah, but yeah,
It's like one of those Facebook shirts, except it's a hat.
it's a Facebook hat.
Of course.
How did we get here? I don't.
I got
Justin,
here and then
you got here and then it
everything
And we
derailed.
just started roasting
downhill.
people. This is what happens when it's the 3 of us.
See,
It's
that's
just us
why you
roasting
It's
people.
like a roasting triad, and I
Yeah.
just love it.
Yeah.
Triangle.
I told you, you have questionable taste in guys. The Asian fetish furry kid.
This is just, okay.
That I
Wait,
didn't even
oh.
know.
Oh god!
What?
Come on,
How did you think that he was attractive? I'm
No, I like very. It wasn't him. It turned out it wasn't him.
Are
Oh.
you just saying that so we get off your back?
No, I'm
Till the
pretty
end
sure
of
it
time,
turned. No,
okay?
I'm pretty sure. Did you? Okay, when we were in line at lunch, did you see that guy who walked by with like a really big skateboard? And
That's literally half the guys here.
no, it was like a big skateboard.
Like surfboard size?
Yeah, like and
Maybe?
okay. Oh yeah, no, you had your back to him when he was like walking by, but it's not Caleb. But it definitely looks like pretty similar to him. Like his hair looks the same.
Then it's still not okay. Oh, well,
His-
hair.
his hair looks
Guys
the
are
same.
like,
No,
there's
he
like
just-
3 styles.
He just has like he has the dyed purple hair. That's
Yeah, Caleb has
Like
never had
purple
purple hair,
or
so.
like-
no, it was purple. So Caleb has never.
Oh, I know.
You
the
know
kid that
who I'm
you're
talking about. Yeah,
He
yeah,
comes to the union all the time.
Straight up purple.
It's not purple. It's like growing out now. It's like your color, but it like clearly has had purple dye over it, and it's growing
on.
on.
You're
I was like, I'm
Wait, she
sorry,
has
my
purple
hair
hair?
is purple?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, no.
Colorblind tested?
But yeah, but Caleb did have purple hair.
He
Do you
did?
remember how he had purple tips?
He had like reddish purple. Like,
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
like that color.
Yeah, no, that's
How did I not notice?
I don't
that?
know. All I know is that
Because you were trying to avoid eye contact with him.
Yeah, because I almost
Like,
cried every
Asian
time that
soccer.
man looked at
Al-
me.
also, I-
that
Like,
child.
literally, like every time you turned your head, he was like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was like,
Oh my
"Dang,
god.
son, what are you trying to do?
yeah, like
The Asian fetish is real.
Very real.
yeah, but like that was
Asian fever. Ugh.
Ugh.
yeah, but that was awful. But yeah, no, I still cannot identify if it was Caleb or not. I don't think it was. I think it's that other kid who has purple hair.
If he's
And then
not similar to Caleb, then we all always say no.
No, but he doesn't really look that similar. Like when we saw Caleb in Lottie that one time, and I was like, he like turned around and I was like, oh, that's not him. But it looks very similar to him. I don't think it does though.
See, masks complicate everything. I can't judge this part of the face.
Yeah.
The eyeballs. And I know every professor here has made that joke, like, oh, I'm just gonna have to familiarize myself with like your head, your forehead, and your eyes. It's like, okay, we get it. It's still not funny, but it is hard to recognize people.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how
if you really know someone, you'll recognize their forehead and their eyes.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
talk
but
about how
I
you were deceived by Devin.
Okay, I saw him. So I had never seen him before until
the
today
cowboy
with the cowboy hat.
Oh,
The worst.
my
I
God.
hate it. I
The
despise
worst.
it.
You know that Nicki
Ever.
Minaj audio that's like, I hate
Yeah,
your hair and makeup today.
Exactly.
That was me at lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Literally the worst.
But like, I can't. He looks like he's gonna talk at the 22 convention. Honest to God. Like he showed up and I was like, "What time's your slot, my guy?"
You know, I think he still has a crush on you.
That's awful. I'm so
Like,
sorry.
I'm okay. I'm not like the funniest person ever, but like that's just my personality. I like to make jokes about everything.
I
And,
know.
like, everything I make jokes about. he
Not to
laughs
flex,
at.
but I'm actually kind of funny.
When Good was like, "You're in class," and you still were in the chat, like you still were like.
Did you
talking
see
in the
Devin's
chat,
reaction?
And Devin was like the most hilarious
Oh my
thing.
God.
I was like,
Ooh, that's why I think he still has a crush on you.
thanks.
The
Like, I
worst.
don't need that in my life. I can't handle crushes like that I don't reciprocate well at all. Like, don't get me wrong. I've had crushes, but none of them have like actually like gone anywhere. And then this kid is over here, and I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Like, I don't know what to do. I just my brain is like, what happened? What do?
And you know what's weird? He never interacts with us outside of class.
No, but then he
He's just
like
like-
literally acts
Well,
like the most
guys,
hilarious person he's ever met in
Guys,
class.
Dominic
Why?
never interacted with me out of class, and y'all know how that
Dominic,
went.
that was
Oh,
hilarious.
dear.
Dominic, if you're listening, do not talk to me ever again. Thank you.
I can't handle that kid in Larry's class. 'Cause not
Do you
only
think
is
that he
Larry's
listens to
class,
this?
like, the worst, but that
No,
kid-
because he doesn't follow me on Instagram because I blocked him or something. I'm
You
pretty-
blocked him? Because, why was he
She
being
like
creepy?
did an Instagram cleanse. I was so proud of her.
Yeah, I went through like all my Instagram people and just like removed a bunch of people, and then I like unfollowed a bunch of people that I don't like need to like be following, like just like a bunch of like random like art pages and stuff that I was like, when did I do this? Like all those like I don't follow 5 Minute Crafts. Don't worry, guys. I'm not like that. But I do follow this, like, it's similar to 5 Minute Crafts, except it's not, like, weird, like, hacks. It's just, like, different, like, little art things or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Because they're very satisfying to watch.
They are. I give you that.
Like the ones that are like pouring.
Yeah,
resin and
resin.
stuff like
Oh my
that.
gosh, I love watching resin
Yeah.
pouring.
10 out of 10. Like, yeah. But
How did we get here?
I literally don't know.
But
What
that's
time
I
is it?
love
Oh my
about
gosh.
Long conversations, they just kind of make their way like through like every possible.
Girl, we've
subject,
been
and you
talking
get
for
back to
1
the
hour,
end, you're like,
23
oh.
minutes.
Oh, is that bad?
What time is it? It's 2:40.
What time is it? It's a
We
Vacation.
should watch that one night for movie night.
High School
I said in
Musical?
the group chat movie night.
Tonight?
Question mark, yeah.
Oh, wait,
It's Friday.
I have my... Sorry, I have Do Not Disturb on because... We should do this again. This is fun.
Yes, we should. Next time, actually, because I didn't really know what we were going to talk about. Like, because I'm planning on, like, doing one with, like, each of, like, the people in our friend group. Maybe it should just be the three of us looking at memes.
Can it? Please.
Oh, please.
Or, like, looking at, like...
And especially because, like, memes, like, you see something and you're like, okay, let me tell you about this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, not just looking at memes, though. Like, looking at, like, memes made by men about women or something.
Okay, let's do it.
And then we can,
Let's do
like...
it.
Oh, I'll get some. I'll get some saltiness out.
Yeah.
Can we? Tomorrow.
Imagine, I'm like, it's a 2 episode weekend. Maybe.
Come back for part 2.
Come back for part 2, baby.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah. So, seriously, actually come back for part 2 because it probably actually will be a part
How
2.
many people actually listen to this?
Literally like 10.
Shout out to those 10 people. We really appreciate
We love you.
Yeah, shout out
Feel free
to
to donate to our charity because we're broke college kids.
Yeah.
Please donate.
Shout out to Talia, Charlie, Gabby, Jonah. I'm trying to think who else listens to it. My dad.
Dino!
shout out Dr. Dino Crognally. Please give me money. Oh, I do need you. Oh, by the way, I do need you to Venmo me actually. But yeah, so like and subscribe. No, but yeah, share this podcast with people if you think it's funny, because I do. Because not the legs, but I'm kind of funny. And
Did you see that thing that I sent you that was like, either you dated someone in middle school or you're funny?
Yes.
I was like, okay, that hurt a little,
It's
but
all of
also
us.
you're right.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, come back for part 2 because yeah, so okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay,
Okay, bye.